Hi, my name is Godwin, a trained psychologist working in the addictions field. I have been working here for close to a decade now. I'd like to welcome you back. Thank you so much for sticking around to these sessions. And if you are new, I also want to extend a welcome to you. I recommend that you check out the previous videos. The link will be in the description below. I recommend that you go over to the YouTube channel where all the videos will be laid down for you to see. And while you are there, please subscribe to the channel, like it, share it. Let us reach as many people as possible with the aim of getting it out there to people who are suffering from addictions, that they can reach out for help and that there is help. And to also get it out there to families who may have a loved one who is suffering from an addiction, that they can reach out to get help for their loved ones. And also to get information out there on the topic of addiction. I believe that people perish because they lack understanding, they lack knowledge. And so just getting this knowledge out there to people will be able to save a person or two, which is quite many. But I do hope that it is much more than that. In the previous videos, we saw, especially the two latest videos apart from this one, we saw some of the steps towards breaking free from addiction. And one of them, the first one, was accepting that one's own behavior has become problematic. And we saw just how somebody can get to the place of acceptance. And then the second one was acknowledging that, even though I do not have power myself to break free from my addictions, and I have proven this over and over again by my countless failed attempts to cut down, to control, to stop altogether my drug of choice or my behavior, and failed, I have proven to myself that I cannot do it on my own. So the second step is coming to believe that a higher power can help me in this quest that I have started to stop my destructive behavior, and this higher power is God. And in the third step, we saw, based off of those two facts, that I myself have no power over my drug of choice. It has made me a captive under its oppressive power, and that God is able to pull me out of it. So the third step is a logical decision. If I am powerless and God has power, then my only logical solution is to relinquish my life over to the care of God, who is able to help me. And today I was just wondering about the man and woman who has decided to stop. Do you know what is awaiting you? Some of the pitfalls that people fall into when they stop using is because they fail to anticipate what is coming. And in this video, I aim to provide that anticipation. What do you expect when you stop using? There are a couple of things you will go through, may go through. More often than not, you will face these things when you stop doing what you have been doing as an addiction. So the first step, the first stage when somebody stops using is what we call the withdrawal stage, or withdrawal symptoms, sorry. These are, symptoms that are usually unpleasant when you pull the substance of choice or the behavior of choice. For example, when you stop using alcohol, you may experience some adverse symptoms, physical symptoms like shaking, headaches, feeling sensation of things crawling over your body, losing sleep at night. So these are some of the things that you may face when you withdraw a substance that you've become dependent on. And some of these withdrawal symptoms that people experience when they stop using or when they stop engaging in their behavior do not have to be physical. Some of them are, emotional, like getting easily irritated, getting easily angry, feeling depressed. These are some of the, emotional states that follow withdrawing a substance that somebody has become dependent on. And this is where there's a huge pitfall, because when you are so uncomfortable in these withdrawal symptoms, it is easy for you to fall back to your old behavior. It is easy for you to seek refuge in the same drug of choice or in the same behavior, because it provides relief in the moment. Even though it's bringing with it other adverse effects, at least it's providing some relief in the moment. And so that's why you would see an alcoholic waking up in the morning and the first thing they want to do is to drink before they do anything else. It's because of the unpleasant feeling they have in the morning. The shaking, they are unable to concentrate. They have a splitting headache. They cannot even take tea or hold a cup without, spilling whatever contents is there. I've had testimonies of people walking into a bar and their first drink, somebody has to give it to them. Somebody actually literally holds their drink for them and gives it to them as you would a baby, because of how terribly they are shaking. And one sip, one cup later, and their hands have stabilized. And I believe that this is where many people fail in their journey of recovery, because once you stop using, those unpleasant feelings can lead you to want to fall back to your comfort zone. But the news in this stage is that if you can just keep yourself busy, if you can keep your schedules tight, if you can even seek medical advice from doctors, medical attention from doctors, then you will be able to break free from withdrawal. And withdrawal symptoms don't last for long. You can actually sail through them. You can wait it out. I've had people come into rehab, and some of them choose not to use drugs to ease off their withdrawal symptoms. They say, I'll soldier on, and 2 days later, and they are better. 3 days later, they're better. Of course, the severity of withdrawal symptoms will depend on the type of drug somebody has used, or the length of use, or the number of drugs they've been using over the years would determine the severity of their withdrawal symptoms. Say, for example, somebody who has used alcohol for 5 years may not have the same withdrawal symptoms as somebody who has used alcohol for 20 years. Of course, the one with 20 years may have more severe symptoms, withdrawal symptoms, as compared to the one of 5 years. Somebody who drinks fairly much in a day would experience far more severe symptoms as compared to somebody who was drinking less. Somebody who was shooting heroin, for example, will experience terrible withdrawal symptoms compared to somebody who was smoking marijuana, for example. All of them have withdrawal symptoms. All of them are unpleasant, but the degree and the severity may vary depending on substance used, length of use, and the route of administration. So, injected drugs may have more severe symptoms compared to other forms of ingestion, like sniffing or smoking or eating or drinking. And so withdrawal symptom is a first stage when you decide to stop using, when you cut off your drug of choice, when you cut off your behavior, then you will experience these withdrawal symptoms. You may experience them. I have had testimonies of people who have skipped this stage, but these are special cases, and I hope yours will be a special case. But even if it's not, just know that it is possible for you to break free from the withdrawal symptom stage without going back to using. In a rehab setting, for example, it is not a jail sentence. It is not that you are locked up, but it is that the environment provided in a rehab setting is serene, it is calm, it is controlled. There are medical practitioners who are able to check you out. And so the withdrawal symptom stage is fairly easy when you are in such an environment as compared to when you're out there. And this is where places like rehab come in very handy, because in it you do not get the temptation to go back to use. You do not get the severe and sometimes even fatal withdrawal symptoms that you may receive when you are out there by yourself. And you may ask yourself, then what are some of the withdrawal symptoms that I may face when I'm quitting, say, for example, gambling? And they are there. People who have quit gambling may experience withdrawal symptoms like being uneasy, feeling fidgety, or even losing concentration during the day because they are fixated on, whether or not they'll be able to bet later on in the day. And so they are, they have those emotional withdrawal symptoms. And the next stage, and this is where I stop today, is what we call the honeymoon stage. And this is where you have broken free from the withdrawal stage, and you're feeling better, you're feeling energetic, you're feeling healthier, you're feeling happier, and you're feeling optimistic about the future. And so we call it the honeymoon stage, just like the name would suggest. It's a stage of happiness, a stage of euphoria, a stage of triumph. You're feeling confident in yourself. You stayed sober for 2 weeks after all, or 3 weeks, or it's been a month. And so you're feeling good about yourself. The pitfall here, you remember the pitfall in the withdrawal stage was that the symptoms may be so unpleasant that you fall back to using just to ease the symptoms. Well, the pitfall in the honeymoon stage is overconfidence. You may feel so overconfident about your journey that you let loose. You decide, you know what, I just go spend my time with my friends in the bar. After all, I've been sober for 3 weeks, I've been sober for a month, I've been sober for 2 months, 3 months, and I feel okay. I feel like I'll be able to sit with them and not order a drink. Or even if I did order a drink, I feel like I would be able to control. And so the overconfidence, the complacency is the pitfall in this stage, because just because you feel energetic, just because you feel well, does not mean that you are out of the woods. Addiction, after all, is a chronic disease, something that sticks with people for their entire lives, which means that if you stop using today and you stay sober for 20 years, and then you go back to using, you will not start from scratch. You will pick up right from where you left off. And so the honeymoon stage is a risky stage, especially for those who do not know what it is. But you who now understands what the honeymoon stage is, what I'm saying is be careful not to be overconfident or to be complacent and let down your guard to the point where you put yourself at risk of going back to where you left. An example of somebody like that was this businessman who saw that his alcoholism was going to mess up his life. So he stopped and decided to focus on his work. And he did so very well. And at 50, he retired. And he decided, now that I have retired, I think I can go back to using, moderately. And he started drinking. And the story says within 5 years, he had lost everything he built in 25 years. You can imagine. He picked up right from where he left off. And so the honeymoon stage, where you feel confident, you feel you have achieved something, is not a stage where you let down your guard. It is a stage where you reward yourself for your journey. You pat yourself on the back. You receive affirmations from family and friends, but you still keep your guard. You still stay away from environments that would trigger you to go back to using. You still stay away from people that will trigger you to go back to using. You still practice self-care. You still go to church. You still pray. You still meditate. You still journal. You still do all the things that you would do even while you are starting your journey of stopping to use. And so these are things that would help you. A quick recap, I've said that in the withdrawal stage, it is easy for you to go back, especially because of the unpleasantness. What will help there is that you put a schedule for yourself where you are busy all the time, where you have work, if you have school, if you have chores at home, if you have meetings you want to attend to, if you have exercise, the gym, if you're reading, whatever you can do to get your mind off things, you do it. Withdrawal symptoms do not last for forever. Your mind may trick you that you are dying. Your mind may tell you that the world is coming to an end, but it is not. All you have to do is to wait it out by keeping yourself busy, keeping your schedule busy. Plan your day down to the hour. Know what you're doing hour to hour, hour to hour. So if the symptoms are severe, if you feel that they truly are severe, you can seek medical attention, where you may or may not be prescribed medication that will help you to ease those withdrawal symptoms. Some people even get detox, drip detox. And like I said, rehab would be the best environment for anyone who is suffering from chronic addiction, to just come and stay in a controlled environment, a place where you are in a serene environment, a peaceful environment, where you are closely monitored, not locked up, just closely monitored and taken care of until your withdrawal symptoms subside. And then we build on that foundation until you stand strong and you're able to rejoin society and become a productive member of society. In the honeymoon stage, just watch out for complacency, watch out for overconfidence. The following stages is what we'll focus on in the next video. But in this video, I hope that it has been helpful. Again, please drop a comment below. If you have a question, reach out to me via direct message, where you can be able to talk to me one-on-one about issues, addiction, and about maybe a loved one you'd like to help out, or somebody you'd like to help out. This is the end of this video. I tried to keep it short. It is Sunday night. I've had quite a long day, a long, fruitful day, by the grace of God, and I hope you have too, whatever day that you are watching this from. God bless you and keep you indeed.